let's do that, and we'll have that available for our discussion. Thank you. We need to order. Everyone who is here is going to be voting. And everybody who's not here, let me know that they weren't going to be here.
And they don't have to vote either, so that makes it easy.
That makes it really easy, yeah. All right. I do have an item that I would like to bring up before we get, and it's public comment on anything not before the planning board this evening, and we don't really have a spot for it. And that is that we had a letter to the editor in the Conway Daily Sun on short-term rentals from Kenneth Carpenter.
I know Kenny.
And he sent a note saying that we ought to have had a requirement for inspections. And as you know, we started out with the idea that we would do inspections. And the reason I want to bring it up is so that we can have it for the minutes. So it's not just sitting out there like, oops, we forgot.
Right.
We didn't forget. The problem we had is that our state regulations don't really provide a very strong position for us to establish an inspection process. And in fact, the bills that are before the legislature all work towards enabling those. And the reason they have to enable them is because right now they are not enabled. There's no leg to stand on for us to go and say, this is a private home, we're going to create a regulation that says private homes should be inspected. We would be creating a class of housing which we're not entitled to do. They're single-family homes and they're regulated. And there are a couple of things that prevent us from doing that. One is that the state fire marshal would also not support us going in. We heard that back from Jay, saying that I can go in and do anything on an inspection basis if it's to do enforcement. But I don't have, and the state fire marshal does not support me just going in and doing an inspection on a private home unless there's been a complaint or an issue. So in each instance, and we looked at this and in fact we were being encouraged to do it, I think initially, in terms of what we could and couldn't do. And when I read the supporting documentation we got from council saying that, oh, you don't have a leg to stand on here, and we also received feedback that this is a point where it would be very strongly litigated. There are a lot of people who really feel strongly that this is wrong to do this based on current state law. And it was like, okay, this is an opportunity for us to immediately have a legal challenge to whatever it is we're doing, which is why we drew back. And I just want to talk that through and make sure that's reflected in the minutes, because it suggested that we really didn't pay attention to that, and we did. We did pay attention to it, and we felt that we didn't have appropriate authority to move forward on that basis. And if we had, it was likely that we would be challenged in court.
I particularly didn't want to go there just for that. I didn't want Jackson to be defending this idea in court or the Supreme Court or whatever. Let them settle it out.
Let them settle it out.
Time.
But in our original, I mean, if they want to look at our original draft, it was there.
But you know, not everyone's paid attention to each of the processes or where we've gotten to, and or come to the public hearings. I don't think this fellow showed up at the public hearings, so I don't think he heard anything. And maybe we didn't do a good enough job
of saying what we
did do, or how or why we did what we did. So,
well, I just came from a meeting of the White Mountain Board of Realtors.
Oh boy.
And we had there the attorney for the realtors and the state, basically I would say lobbyist for that.
Yeah.
And I took some notes, and I thought I would share them with you.
Sure.
So, what really struck me at first was the whole Board of Realty is very much on a sort of a measured approach, exactly the same as we are.
Mhm.
I mean, they're not way over here like some people would have assumed.
Yeah.
And the main purpose of this law, 458 or whatever they're trying to get through, the main purpose is so that municipalities cannot ban short-term rentals. That's it. They know that they got to compromise, and they're trying to compromise on this on the inspection thing, and they think they've got the chief fire marshal on board. You know, at first again, I don't want my fireman going in there and say you can't do this, you can't do that, but hopefully he'll come on board on that. What else have I got here? Town cannot. All right, towns can charge for long-term rentals, but they can't for short terms. So that's an issue there. Airbnb last year brought in $4.5 million to the state, and the estimate for the over 2 years of the budget is about $25 million. So the state is interested in
Maintaining
keeping
revenue, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're going to come. So how do you get rid of or find a short-term rental owner? They actually have to break an ordinance. So like the town of Conway has no noise ordinance. So if somebody made a complaint and it was like strike one, strike two, strike three, that's not even strike one. You actually have to violate an ordinance. And there was one other important thing here, Tom. This I thought was very interesting. So you remember Bob Campak,
Mm-hmm.
and his whole thing was, this is a commercial enterprise. This is a commercial enterprise, and you can't do that in a residential zone. This issue has been brought before 5 different state Supreme Courts, and every time it turns out that a short-term rental is not a commercial enterprise, it's a residential. You live there, you sleep there, you have people over for cocktail, it's a residential use of the property. It's not a commercial use of the property. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Even if you're charging money for it.
Even though you're charging money for it, it's not a commercial enterprise because it's a house, and what are you doing there? You're sleeping there, you're eating there, you're doing everything that you do in a residence. So it's a residential use. So I thought that was interesting. At any rate, I don't see that the real estate organization is way out on the wings. I think they're looking to compromise, as they say.
Yeah.
And again, the main purpose is so a municipality cannot actually ban short-term rental.
Yeah, I think we've come out as pretty decent place.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're right on the money.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't offend a lot of people who are calling from the realtor side. And yeah, if you want none, yeah, okay, it's going to offend you. But I think that's what I said earlier. Is like, if you have a steadfast view that everything should be allowed or nothing should be allowed, you're not going to like what we came up with. But somewhere between, it's reasonable at least.
And then Brendan Bettendorf, do you know him?
No.
He said he talked to several of us. I never talked to him, but
I don't believe I spoke with him.
But he did a presentation, and the only mistake he made was that he said that Jackson went from 25 days to 30 days. And I caught him afterwards. I said, no, it's 30 instances, not 30 days. Then there was some issue that's related to this that went up for a vote. And in our area of Mount Valley, only one person opposed it. It was Anita Burrows. So
Right, and she would oppose it simply because she would be probably wanting more regulation, no?
That's not the indication that I did, but so, and Ed Butler is one of the sponsors of this, so I think we're on the right, we got it right. We got to just make sure that the town knows that we got it right.
Okay. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up just simply to it doesn't make sense to try to push back in the sun, but if we can have it in the minutes here, folks reading it will at least know, and those are the people I think we care about reaching in terms of.
Yep, I've made a specific note about that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next order of business, voluntary lot merger application. We've already begun to think about this. It's a simple application. It says the property owner owns both lots. It's on Green Hill Road. It's lot 21 and lot 22. Lot 22 is a rear lot, but apparently there is a private road that goes through and feeds 21 and 22, as well as lot 24 that's behind that.
Which is also landlocked.
How big are the lots, do we know?
We have a 4-acre lot and a 2-acre lot, and the reason she's wanting to do that is she is getting ready to do an accessory dwelling unit, and she's looking to do a building permit, and in order to meet the building permit requirements,
Needs a bigger lot.
she needs to have the lots merged in order to accomplish what she needs to do relative to what's expected of her.
Does the private road serve another need?
Yeah, it does. It looks like it serves lot 24, but
It's a dotted orange.
it's a dotted
line.
orange line, so I'm not sure what that is.
It says it's a private,
Orange is a private road, and then,
I don't know what a dotted line is.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
there's
orange,
the
is it?
solid oranges over there, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a private.
I'm not sure
So
what that is.
maybe it means it's not,
Hmm.
it's maybe not developing to a road, but
There's gotta be some road, unless nobody lives on lot 24. Unless that's just acreage, because they have no frontage.
Yeah.
Right.
you gotta go.
That's why I'd like to have a representative here so we can ask these questions to them. I mean, we can assume
Yeah.
all
Is the
along.
address
Have
for
some
the
you and me.
owner,
Yeah,
Jackson address?
exactly what I was thinking.
She lives in Amherst, New Hampshire. Was not able to be here this evening.
Because that is a road of some sort.
Right.
And if she takes both those lots, then that road would be still cutting through her property till.
Well, it's gotta be a right of way. If it's a right of way, then it's not going to be affected by the lot merger.
No, it's still a right of way,
Right.
so.
And the way the regs read, other than the fact that we signed this thing to indicate that we are aware of it, there's no public hearing requirement, there is no notice of abutters, and it's truly a pro forma review.
did
Is
she,
there a fee involved?
Yes, she has to
Have
pay.
they attached
Yes,
an appropriate document?
$36.
wow. Huge. Did she write that up, or did she have somebody else write that up?
The form is available online here, you can print it
Okay,
from.
so what, she didn't have an attorney do that, that could represent her or something like that?
No, you don't need an attorney.
Okay.
This is a slam dunk. In fact, I think you
And
suggested.
then this
we-
gets registered in
Yes,
Ossipee
Yep.
along with the deeds.
Can you guys normally just approve these lot mergers?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Where could there be any problem here? Could there be, I don't see any, I mean, I don't know, but would there, where could we go wrong?
Right, and because it's to our advantage, the town, to make it a single lot. It's easier to keep track of. If they ever wanted to do some kind of development, they have to go through the whole process. Now that we've combined it, they're not grandfathered this lot, this second lot, or anything.
It just becomes one.
They have to go through all the
so,
hoops.
yeah, if they want to undo it, they have
That's a
to
big
run
one.
through the whole 9 yards of whatever the existing requirements are, so.
And I think it just streamlines the tax
For me, I don't know what lot 24 is, and taking those two blocks, them. So,
That's the problem for 24.
24?
Right, and again, no requirement for notice.
Okay.
So we basically have no reason not to approve.
No,
Right.
Okay.
no, basically you have a right to your property, and you have a right to maintain it. If you have it in two lots, you have a right to maintain it that way, or you have a right to combine them, and as a municipality, in fact, there's really no basis in the statute that says
Can't do it.
we can't approve it.
Right.
Oh,
However,
okay.
I mean, there's nothing in it other than we have to be aware of it, so it can be recorded, and it has to be approved, only to show that it's run through our books, but we have no basis as a board to deny it. And there's nothing in the enforcement that says we can say no.
Okay,
It's like, oh,
then we approve.
make a motion.
I move that we approve the merger. That's.
I hear a second.
Second.
Be it noted that David made the motion and Dick made the second, and we've had our discussion, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So approved. I will sign it and we'll move that forward. All right.
We'll see in a few months when she starts putting the building up.
And you'll see apparently she's already working with Kevin on getting the building permits. So it's already in progress, and I believe he's informed her that she needs to make some changes in order to make it happen.
Yeah.
So this is just running through, which,
Okay.
and the good part is it's an accessory dwelling unit that's gonna be put in. That's something we've been pushing for. Which is good. All right, are you prepared to talk about the capital improvement plan, or would you like to defer doing that?
No, I can talk briefly about it. I've gathered some information. The format that we had, should I just fill in the blanks, or?
I think that'd probably be a good start, yeah.
And I can produce that through the town office, I'm sure. I'm not one of those, hunt and peck, I'm one finger. I do it all with one finger.
I'm twice as good. I use two fingers.
Yeah, see, you're way ahead of me.
Double the production.
But no, I can plug it, I've gotten some pretty good information. I even asked the office to come up with a dream sheet of, they'd like a patio out back for lunches and, well, whatever.
Mhm.
But to think ahead, and so, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, great. And when might we expect to see that? So we can put it on the calendar and look at it. Should we do that April? Because March is gonna be weird.
You're right, March will be headed to the town meeting, and there's always a lot of.
Which brings me to, if we could, we have a conflict, meeting night and
Right.
town meeting are the same evening, and I know you guys really love this meeting, but we can't schedule it the same time as the town meeting. So might we do it the third Thursday?
If there is an agenda.
Hmm?
If there's anything on the agenda.
Or should we just defer? I don't know.
Well, we had said that Diane,
Yeah.
Diane, right, from the North Conway.
Yeah, not Diana, it's Dana.
Dana.
Yeah. The opportunity would be for Dana to do her presentation of the updates, if possibly for that meeting.
What is the date of that? I'm gonna write this down.
It'll be the 19th.
It would be the 19th
Of March.
of March at 7. Is that okay with everyone, or does it work, or not work, or if it doesn't work?
Well, it'll give us, anyway, something to look at and work with.
Yeah, okay. I'm pleased to hear that you're unopposed.
Nobody wants to do it for 1 year.
What is this?
Oh, I have to run, I'm filling in for Bob Thompson.
Oh, okay.
So I was appointed, but that's only good till the next town meeting,
Okay.
at which time I have to run. which is this, for the remainder of that.
And the deadline's passed, so nobody else can get in, right?
Well, there could be a
Write-in.
write-in.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a massive write-in campaign,
Write-in.
Chris, and.
I don't think I'm
that's it.
prepared.
Yeah.
Hey, Bloomberg got 11 here.
Who did?
Bloomberg got 11
Oh, yeah.
minutes.
Ian too on the Republican side.
Yes. Well, when I first heard he was
White
running,
rich,
I
we just
asked,
thought it
I said, well, as a Democrat or as a Republican? I said, I wasn't sure.
Mm.
And I think he could have gone.
He could go either way. Huh?
Yep, March 19th.
But that brings up a point that if you are not here, by the way, not that we have that many alternates right now, but if you want somebody to act as your alternate,
The selectmen's representative.
that has to be a person who's not Huntley. And it would have to be somebody who's specifically a select person's
One of the other
alternate.
selectmen.
So we haven't ever had one of those, but if it's something you guys are thinking about or have thought about, that if you're not here and you want somebody to be able to vote in your place, you have to have a select board's alternate for you specifically that could come to the meeting. And that would be in addition to the 5 slots that we have, only one of which is currently
His
filled.
right is even filled.
So we're looking for more, anybody watching this silly thing, if they're watching the camera or reading the minutes, just a reminder that we do have that many open alternate positions. We have 4 of them, and we would be interested in somebody putting in their letter of interest. Speaking of which, you have already indicated your term is up, that you are interested in being reappointed. Thank you,
Yep.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Where is my term? Do we know?
It is, it's posted on the,
It's on the website, on the town website.
it's on the town website, right next to your name.
3 years.
Am I already?
You're here at least for another year, for sure, maybe 2
Right, I think Scott and I were the only ones that were up.
Yeah, Scott's the other one, I haven't checked with him, but he better.
Planning board for life.
Yeah, 2,
That's what I feel like.
Maybe, yeah. So hopefully we'll get that all squared away, and if we have a meeting on the 19th, we'll know everything's all pretty well squared away.
And also the agenda for the 19th, we should be setting up a nominating committee for officers. You have to do that every year.
All right.
So, anything else?
Gosh almighty, is that clock right? 7:35?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Close.
7:30.
Good.
if nobody else has anything to ask, I do have a couple questions. First of all, did we reach an agreement on when Dick Bennett would be presenting info for the capital improvement plan? Was that going to be in April?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the other question is, do the minutes from the public hearing need to be approved?
Yes.
We forgot to do that.
We did not do that, thank you. All right, please look at
What about the
the,
last meeting?
Good.
we have.
Do you live in town?
Yes, I do.
All right, well, we don't, we have meeting minutes from the 3rd.
The January meeting.
I do not believe we have minutes here for the January meeting,
These are the
But-
minutes.
and we have not,
We had minutes for the meeting that we had after the public hearing.
right,
Right, but we didn't print the minutes from the 9th.
the minutes from the 9th have not, are still unapproved. And we do not have them for this evening to look at.
But we all should have read them.
Pardon?
We all should have read them before.
I've read them.
All right, I read them, I also reviewed them and had them corrected.
Yeah, I saw that correction that you made.
All the corrections. So Motion to approve the minutes from the January 9th meeting? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Dick
Second.
Chris motion, Dick seconded for the January 9th minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, minutes for the February 3rd public hearing.
Make a motion to approve?
Is this for the public hearing and the meeting after it, or just for the
Well,
public hearing?
we have both here.
Yeah.
We can vote on them both together.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that they had to be separate documents. I included both.
No,
the-
no, they don't have to be.
Okay,
We just have to figure out how we're voting.
okay.
We're okay with voting them together?
Yep.
Any corrections, issues? These were well done. We'll recognize that our recorder is doing a great job. Now that he's finally got his legs under him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
I move that we do accept them.
I have a motion from Sarah
Good second?
and a second from David. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're good. Do I hear a motion to put our caps on and get this?
He's never taken it
Oh.
He's way ahead of you.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Oh, absolutely. I would like to make a motion to adjourn
I'd
our
love to second
meeting.
it.
And I have a motion from Dick to adjourn with a Chris is seconding. All in favor, please.
Aye.